Oh my god, I can't believe I have to make a fucking video on the Shy, man. Alright, okay, let's start. Alright, the Shy is the greatest. What's up, guys, and welcome to my video on the Shy. This video was a long time coming, and the reason I'm making this video, full disclaimer, is because of a bet that I lost with kha'zix in Worlds of 2023, where I bet that BLG was going to beat Weibo in the upper bracket semifinals. Well, there's only one bracket because it's Worlds, you know. A+ job, right? No double elim during Worlds.
Weibo's a good team. You can say it. It doesn't hurt. It's not gonna...
Okay, look.
You can say it.
Weibo is a good team.
Clip it.
Compared to the dog number one team from North America.
It's always but.
That's
it's always but.
saying.
It's okay. They'll beat
Yes.
Gen G. If they here's the deal. If they win against Gen G or BLG and make the finals, will you say they're a good team?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
What?
Will you?
Of course.
Will you give me an apologetic speech?
Yeah, I'll write you a fucking speech.
I'll
make my own fucking. I'll fucking make a 10-minute video sucking the Shy's, saying why he's the best top laner in the entire world. That'll be my bet.
Okay, deal.
Hold on, let me, kha'zix's calling me. He needs to rub it in. All right, hold on.
Okay. Hey, sorry!
Look, OMG is disbanding.
Say sorry!
OMG
Say sorry!
is disbanding. I just
Say sorry!
Game 5.
Say sorry! Say sorry! Say sorry!
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, the Shy. You actually are just him. You inted for 5 years straight on purpose just to smurf in this series.
Finally,
bro.
we found
Do I have to make that stupid ass video that I promised?
Yeah, make it.
And because Weibo won, I have to make this video sucking off the Shy for 20 minutes. The Shy first appeared in high elo Korean solo queue in season 4 at the age of 14, which makes him essentially one of the first top lane prodigies that we've had in league history. In a time where most players were famous for playing champions like Maokai, Shyvana, Renekton, Mundo, and even Lulu top, the Shy gained attention for his highly mechanically demanding champion pool, consisting of champs like Yasuo, Nidalee, Jace, but most prominently Riven. This was a time where mechanics on Riven were relatively unexplored. Most high elo Riven players were just learning about the fast Q Riven mechanic, which is still done to this day. If you don't know what the fast Q is, it's a mechanic done by right-clicking the ground immediately after you Q on Riven, which allows you to auto-attack roughly 35 to 40% faster than normal. Most Riven players being able to execute this was enough to be considered a good Riven player at the time, but to be able to pull off Riven against the best players in the world in Korean solo queue, the Shy needed to optimize Riven to an even higher degree, which is why he invented his own Riven combo, which later became known as the Shy combo. The Shy combo was a one-shot Riven combo used to execute squishy targets in under a second without them being able to react. The combo was done by casting the first part of Riven's R during her E animation, which was quickly followed by flashing on a target and pressing W. Once the target was stunned, the Shy would auto attack one time, then cancel that auto attack animation with Hydra, which would then allow Riven to recast R2 and Q right after. If done perfectly, the enemy champion would take lethal damage in the 0.75 second Riven stun. By being so proficient at this combo, the Shy became known worldwide in the League of Legends scene. Now, not everyone knew precisely what the Shy combo was. Most people understood that it was some type of Riven combo that was extremely advanced, and if done quickly, you would get one shot and you wouldn't be able to react to it. But most people didn't know the specific order of abilities or anything like that, but that's not important. What's important is that the Shy was now known around the world. People knew of this guy in Korea who was considered the best Riven player, and if you played against him, he was going to one-shot you before you knew what was happening. And this term became really big. People were using the term the Shy combo even in a comedic sense. People would play Veigar and they would QR you, or they would play Nunu and just R in the bush, and if they one-shot you, they would say, ooh, I just Shy comboed him, and that became the reach of this guy. The Shy had become a legend before he even played one competitive game. At the age of 15, the Shy was already a popular streamer for WE. He had became known for his the Shy combo, and he was a high Korean challenger player, but the main problem that he faced when it came to competitive play was that he simply was too young to compete, which is why at the age of 17, he finally was able to join IG as a substitute to Duke. When the Shy was signed in the summer of 2017 to IG, it wasn't obvious how much he would actually get to play. Duke was still considered to be one of the best and most stable top laners in the world at that time, having just won Worlds in 2016 with SKT, and the Shy had very little competitive experience in any environment at all. Originally, IG took the sword and shield approach, where the Shy would play most of the aggressive carry top laners and Duke would play the weak side tanky champions. However, towards the end of the split, it became obvious that the team functioned better with the Shy in the top lane.
From the Shy,
a Riven one-trick streamer that has since transitioned to pro player.
Which is why IG chose to play with the Shy over Duke in the majority of their playoff series and ended up playing only with the Shy in Regional Gauntlet, where the team ended up losing narrowly to WE in a close 5-game series, causing them to miss Worlds. IG hit the ground running in the 2018 spring season with the Shy as the starter, and they were absolutely dominant. The team went 18-1 with a 37-5 game score. However, the Shy was sidelined with a hand injury and wasn't able to play in playoffs. In Summer Split, IG once again astro-fisted the entire league with the Shy as a starter and went 18-1 once again. The one loss, however, was to RNG, who had just came off winning LPL in spring and also winning MSI, meaning that RNG was still considered by many to be the favorites for the league. Due to the insane record that IG had in the regular season, they were seeded directly into the semifinals of playoffs, where they were able to beat JDG 3-2, sending them directly to finals. Unfortunately, in the finals, IG once again fell to RNG 3-2, with the Shy playing 4 out of the 5 games, of which he won 2. The good news though for IG was that the placement was high enough to directly qualify them to the World Championship as the 2nd seed of LPL. Let's be honest, people barely watch the LPL nowadays, so think about how few people watched the LPL back in 2018. People didn't know that the Shy had just went 36-2 in game score. For the general league population, most people first watched the Shy play a League of Legends game at Worlds in 2018, and the Shy was about to show the world what he was made of. IG began their World Championship in a fairly easy group. They got drafted into Group D, which had Fnatic, the EU LCS champions, but the other 2 teams were G-Rex, the 3rd seed from Taiwan, which was starting to struggle at that point. Taiwan didn't have any teams actually advance to the group stage at this tournament, and 100 Thieves that were imploding. 100 Thieves mainly made it off of their points from the spring split, but since then, Cody Sun had been benched for Rivera, and there was issues with Meteos leading to his benching as well. IG ended up going 5-1 in the group stage alongside Fnatic, but due to their 1-1 head-to-head score, they ended up having to play a tiebreaker. Since IG had lost the Fnatic with the Shy and had won with Duke, IG ended up fielding Duke in the tiebreaker match. Fnatic went on to have one of their best games of the tournament, taking down IG with pop-off performances from Caps and Broxa. This would end up being a critical result for IG, as their 2nd place finish in the group stage meant that they would face against one of the tournament favorites, KT, in the quarterfinals. IG took a commanding 2-0 lead in the series versus the #1 seed from the LCK, with the Shy performing consistently on both Urgot and Sion.
KT roster will have to reverse sweep to remain in this series as IG look indomitable.
In game number 3, the Shy pulled out his Fiora as a counter pick to Smeb's Aurelia and had side lane pressure the entire game. The game came down to a base race at 41 minutes, where the Shy was 1 auto attack away from split pushing down the Nexus.
right now, Ning taken down to half. It's Shy versus Smeb in the base at the same time. Mono's going to be taken very low. Yukao barely going to be kept alive. Score taken down to one corner. Smeb's nearly going to be killed now as well. Def taken so low. The Blade Caller's not able to find him. Def goes on a killing spree. It's the Shy still in the base. It's KT looking to try to stand and fight if they can. The Shy has made his way onto the inhibitor turrets, onto the Nexus turrets. They're going to be taken down. KT still marching. It's a base race. The Shy's onto the blue Nexus. KT's onto the red. Who's going to win? The Shy will not. And KT takes it to game 4. Holy crap!
After 3 games of objectively being the better top laner, the Shy was benched in game number 4 for Duke.
Duke will be substituting in for the Shy. That is a big move here. Of course, Duke brings so much experience.
This was a crazy decision to most people watching the series, because it felt like not only was the Shy better than Smeb, it felt like IG played better with the Shy. A year later, a translator revealed on Reddit the reason for the Shy's benching in game number 4. As it turns out, the Shy locked in Fiora against his coach's wishes, so his game 4 benching was actually a punishment handed out in real time during a world's best of 5. This is what makes the Shy such a legend. He locked in a champion against his coach's wishes in game number 3, got behavior benched in game number 4, and was so damn good that his coach had to sub him back in game 5 in order to beat the second best team in the entire world.
Invictus Gaming will do what has not been done since 2014. They will eliminate the Korean first seed, and they will move on to the semifinals.
While IG was dispatching of KT, the other Asian teams were dropping like flies. C9 3-0'd the Africa Freaks, Fnatic stomped EDG, and G2 pulled off the biggest upset in World's history by beating Uzi and RNG.
G8,
Uzi's down!
With Uzi down, it's all on Xiaohu. Xiaohu's running. Look at Burks! Burks has found him. Burks goes golden with the hourglass. They may have just done it.
G2 have just dismantled RNG, and they're gonna make their way to the semi-finals!
The G2 dynasty will be defined by taking down RNG.
The general sentiment at the time was that this was finally the year for the West to win a world championship. All that was left was 3 Western teams and IG. The semi-finals between IG and G2 were looking to be an extremely competitive matchup, especially because G2 had just beat a team that had been better than IG for the entire year up until that point.
I thought I was going to be the only one going with G2 here. I also got them 3-2 in this series.
This was the series, however, that the Shy would solidify himself as the best top laner in the entire world. The Shy would go on to show the breadth of his champion pool by playing an Akali game in game number 1.
Dude, trying to make some sort of a final stand here as G2 have to find their fight. Perk's going to be taken very low. Ning already grabbed the kill down onto Yarnan in the back line. Long grabs the kill onto Wadid here too. Wonder trying to stand and make some sort of a defense, but everyone else is already...
One of the best top lane Jace games ever played in game number 2.
Very low. Remember, he doesn't have a...
And then following it up with an insane Aatrox game in which he made his most iconic play ever. The Q3 heard around the world.
So many people! That's the Aatrox damage! And the Shy makes it happen! Front line, Void Seeker fired off. G2 into trouble there. There you go! Wadid's gonna be the first to drop. Shy goes on a rampage. Everyone else is stuck in the fountain. And IG will cleave through them all. The stun comes down. Yankles goes out. Killing spree over to Rookie. IG clean house. And in a clean sweep, they punch their ticket to the finals.
No questions left unanswered from IG. An extreme show of dominance here.
With this 3-0, there was only one team left standing between the Shy and a world championship. The team that had already beat them twice in the group stage, Fnatic. People believed that this time it would be different. It wasn't just because Fnatic had beaten IG in the group stage that gave Western fans hope. Fnatic had convincingly beat EDG in quarters and shit-stomped C9 in semis. It really felt like C9 was the best possible matchup into IG, but the Shy shut that shit down quick. The Shy tore up Bwipo. Ning and the Shy ganked Bwipo so many times in game number 2 that he ended up getting benched for Soaz in game number 3, and that changed almost nothing about the series. IG swept Fnatic in finals. The Shy had went from being a streamer maining Riven to being the best top laner in the world on the best team in the world in a little over a year. The Shy and IG began 2019 just how they ended 2018, being one of the best teams in the LPL. They placed second in the regular season, but went on to have a dominant playoffs, winning the semifinals 3-1 and the finals 3-0 against JDG.
From World 2018 to 2019 domestic title, 3-0, your 2019 Spring Champions.
It really looked like we were in an era of IG dominance that wasn't going to be stopped anytime soon. The most important thing to note about the Shy this split is that he really indexed into what his core strength was, which was being one of the best laning top laners in the entire world. He started playing mainly range bully top laners, and the top 5 most played champions he had this split were Urgot, Ryze, Kennen, Vladimir, and Nico. By winning the spring split, IG had qualified themselves to 2019 MSI. Due to the fact that they had just won Worlds 6 months prior, most people considered IG to be the favorites going into the tournament. IG had an absolutely dominant group stage, going 9-1, including a 15-minute win versus Korea's first seed SKT.
Invictus Gaming are going to finish it! Not since Bangkok Titans got crushed 4 years ago. Invictus Gaming smash the world record. They smash SKT, and IG are 4-0.
And this first place finish sent them into the semifinals, where they would face off against TL, who IG had previously already beaten twice. Everyone considered IG as massive favorites to win this match.
Just lasts longer than Fnatic did. You're looking at 89 minutes. I think it's going to be a 3-0, but just try to hold on.
All right, well, so Papa Smithy, the only one here calling a single game for Team Liquid in this best of 5. Let's see if they can surprise us even more than that.
The main perceived advantage for IG versus TL was the fact that the meta at MSI had become a ranged carry top lane meta. The exact meta that the Shy had dominated in within the LPL, and a meta that Impact was considered to be weakened. The Shy ended up winning every single lane phase versus Impact, but overall, IG was way less coordinated on the day. Ning had an awful series individually, and IG was not able to pull off their high execution team comps like they normally did. It would be unfair to blame the Shy for this series. His teammates were outclassed by TL on the day, and with the old dogshit MSI format, that was it.
Biggest moments in League of Legends history as Team Liquid take down the reigning world champs.
IG was out of MSI, getting 3-1 by TL, unable to win another international title. After returning to the LPL, IG immediately began struggling in the summer split. It was clear that the team was experiencing issues. The Shy was still playing generally well in most of the games, but unlike his consistent performance at MSI, there were some games where the Shy was running it down. Regardless, most of the underperformance of IG was put on Ning and Baolan. Both players ended up being benched throughout the split, Ning for Leyen and Baolan for Lucas, then Jinlu, but the team still struggled. IG squeaked into playoffs as the 6th seed in LPL, the worst placement that the team had since 2017 spring.
And boy, this one, IG had it in the bag from the start. That was a disaster of epic proportions coming in the bot side.
In playoffs, IG got 3-0 clapped by LNG, but still ended up making it to Worlds through the regional gauntlet, which they only qualified for because of their championship points from spring.
To take down the reigning world champions in the first round of playoffs.
Even though IG had struggled in summer, they still went into the 2019 World Championship as defending world champs and one of the most respected teams. IG would go 4-2 in the group stage, losing twice to Damwon, but easily beat the Korean 2nd seed Griffin in the quarterfinals. Once again, IG went into semifinals of Worlds looking strong. All right, I'm gonna take it from here. The Shy went into the series versus FPX playing his standard range top laner style. Quinn in game number 1 to counter Renekton, Vlad top blind in game number 2, Lucian top to counter GP in game number 3, and Kale top into GP in game number 4. The difference between his effectiveness in this series and in the LPL though was that FPX made a point of sending multiple people to constantly attack the Shy's lane. Teams were no longer letting the Shy play out 1v1s. FPX would consistently send as many people as possible into the top lane to punish the Shy's over-aggressive playstyle. IG would enter game 4 down 1-2, but battled back into a winning position after early game. The game looked like it would be a free win for IG, but on a Baron push around 25 minutes, the Shy completely griefed his Kale ulti, placing it on his support Baolan, and instantly causing him to die. The Shy followed up this int with another random death around 29 minutes, where he simply gets caught mid lane once again. Still, IG maintained a good game state and walked up mid to siege mid inhibitor around 33 minutes. All it would take was one good fight, and IG could end the game and force Love Sosa. And that's where tragedy struck once again. The Shy would go on to get caught a 3rd time, failing to use his Kale ulti or his flash, losing his team the game instantly. And just like that, the run was over. The Shy and IG were eliminated from Worlds 2019. At this point, I was still a massive fan of the Shy. I believe that the Shy was already the greatest top laner of all time with the highest level of individual skill we had ever seen from any top laner in the history of the game. It didn't matter to me that he didn't have a good 2020 spring. I put all the blame on Puff and Southwind. I thought those guys were bad and the Shy couldn't carry those bums. I gave the Shy a pass for the 2020 midseason cup, where he ended up going 2-18 individually while IG got 0-3'd and kicked out of the tournament. I didn't even care when the Shy got swept by LGD in the first round of summer playoffs. It wasn't until the third game of the regional gauntlet where I realized that the Shy had become what I feared most: the most disgusting inter in the history of professional League of Legends. One thing you should understand is that I went into this game with a positive mindset. You see, this was one of the first games that I had ever watched live on my stream featuring the Shy. I wanted to show everyone why I love this player and why I thought he was the greatest in the entire world. And you know what I got? An absolutely disgusting 1-10 AD Kennen performance. Maybe one of the worst things I've ever seen. Let me show you a little bit of it. All right, so this is the first play. You know, this one was a little bit unlucky. I mean, the Shy is going for a gank, but TP is really broken and people had it super early back in the day. Rookie didn't have anywhere to TP himself. The Shy flashes forward and misses his Q. It's pretty ugly, but I guess I'll accept it. You know, everyone makes mistakes, and the Shy is a human being after all. I'm not going to say that this is the beginning of something horrible necessarily. And if you look at this, the Shy is just getting 4-man dove. I mean, what can he actually do here? Yeah, this is definitely not the Shy's fault. I mean, maybe it is just an unlucky game. Maybe I'm misremembering a little bit. Surely he won't do anything with his teleport that's coming up in 3 seconds. I mean, the Shy is only level 5. Oh my god, he's TPing back to the turret. He just saw 4 people in his lane. Oh no. Oh, he's just dead again. Okay, this one was a little bit of an intentional feed, but I can understand it. He thought that his team would be able to have his back. Okay, this is just weird from the Shy. I mean, why is he trading autos with the red buff Kindred? I mean, I feel like he's just gonna die again. Oh my god, the Shy, please. You're supposed to be the GOAT. What are you doing? Okay, the Shy has finally recovered. Let's see how he establishes dominance in the side lane. Oh my god, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. He had Blade of the Ruined King on Kennen playing versus a Volibear with Black Cleaver, and he died 1v1 in the side lane. Oh, this is tough from the Shy. And what is happening on the minimap? The Shy, what are you doing? Why are you still fighting? You're down 2 levels now. You've died twice 1v1 to the Volibear. He built a Black Cleaver in Ninja Tabby. Please stop fighting him. Hey, he has no one on this side of the map and no vision at all, but I guess he's like suicide split pushing at this point. Also, what is he building? I'm looking in his inventory. He has a pickaxe, but then he also has daggers. He has a Blade of the Ruined King already. What could he possibly be building? I mean, this looks like it's intentional. I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll see about his next teleport to see if he really is attempting to lose the game. Wait, he died off screen. What could be going on here? Okay, nice. We have a replay where the Shy is TPing in. This is how he died? Okay, report him. Okay, report him. He's just griefing on stage. Still don't know what he's buying. I mean, I hope it's not anything too disgusting. I mean, he has Blade of the Ruined King already. He probably needs PD like everyone else, but this pickaxe is really bothering me. I don't know what he could be purchasing at this point. Oh, it's a rapid fire cannon. He's going rapid fire cannon in a match that determines whether or not you move on or lose your tournament life. He's just trading autos over the wall, gets arrowed, and I guess it's fine. Looked ugly, but I can accept it. Still not good. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just into the entire game at this point. He has 9 out of his team's 15 deaths. When have you seen somebody die this much before? Okay, at this point, he's into the game, but I still want to know, why the f is he buying IE? Rapid Fire Cannon IE. I have never seen this Kennen build before, and I will never see this Kennen build again. What the f is he actually doing in this game? I'm starting to care less about the 0-10 and more about what the f he has in his inventory right now. And this wasn't just a one-off. The Shy became a consistent inter. He would die 1v1 in the worst ways imaginable, no matter how much CS he had. It's hard for me to convey how bad he really was. So instead, I will show you some of my favorite disgusting the Shy int moments, and you can be the judge for yourself of what type of player he was between 2020 summer and 2023 summer. Like, how about this game where the Shy is playing Anivia top for no reason into Flandre's Vladimir and gets down 20 CS from pure 1v1 laning alone.
He is doing McLaren Anivia walls live on the LPL stage. Somebody ban him. Well, hopefully it was useful later on. Oh, never mind. He's actually just under 200 CS at 29 minutes. He is 0-3 and provided nothing for his team. Why the f did he pick Anivia? What I want you to do is tell me what the f the Shy was thinking at this moment. Why does he E into the whole enemy team? He doesn't throw a Q. He doesn't try to knock them up. He would just E into the whole enemy team, bro. This is game 3 versus top esports. These are supposed to be 2 of the best teams in all of the LPL. What the f is he doing? Is there anything I even need to say about this? He is playing broken Cassante in spring of 2023 and getting solo killed by Sion. Look at this play. What the f is he doing, bro? How the f is this guy a pro player, bro? That makes no sense, bro. The Shy was just so trash for so long. And I guess we can watch Wayward get in on the action as well. I mean, everyone loves to flame Wayward, but even Wayward was able to solo kill the Shy when he was on his inting arc. Like, look at this. Completely outplayed. What an incredible fraud. I mean, the Shy was picking Nidalee top with Divine Sunderer, losing to top esports in 22 minutes. Okay, finally the Shy is in a matchup where he will definitely not get solo killed. I mean, he's playing Mordekaiser versus the And finally, you know I needed to save the best for last. Look at the Forbidden the Shy combo. The flash into E into the wall, into the missed Q, and missed R. That is who the Shy was from 2020 until 2023. By some miracle or act of God, the Shy ended up qualifying to Worlds 2023, where I was convinced that he was going to show everyone who he had been in the LPL for the last 4 years. And in that World Final, the Shy completely ran it the down. He went 1-16 over 3 games, and it was possibly the worst World Final that we have ever seen from any top laner in history. And then he took a break from competitive play and he plays Minecraft. So that's the story of the Shy.